Hello everyone, welcome back to the FM Dugout. It's time for some more Football Manager 2016 features, and today the focus is on the tactics screen. Now the tactics screen isn't anything new, but Sports Interactive have given it a bit of a facelift, and I think the changes that they've made really enhance the ability to tweak your team's tactics. So what are the changes? Well, the most evident change for me on this screen is the fact that we've now got these bars for the role and duty suitability rather than having the pinwheels. Now the pinwheels haven't disappeared, they're still there, but in terms of comparing your starting 11, I think this is a much better way to give you a clean overview of whether or not your team as a whole has good suitability for what you're asking them to play. So for instance, we can see Branislav Ivanovic here isn't quite a natural what we're asking him to play, which is a fullback. So again, you can go and change, and here we see the pinwheels come in, so we can choose him as a limited fullback if we want, or we can put him back to a fullback and put him onto automatic, and we can see whether or not there's anyone else that's suitable. Now before, when we picked this, what we would have had was the little pinwheels, and again I think this gives you a much cleaner way of seeing, you know, who can play in that position and the duty that you're asking them to play. So here you can see that Azpilicueta is a better player for the role that we're asking them to play. Okay, so that's the kind of change here. In terms of what we have on the pitch overview, we now have the pinwheels with segments as opposed to just a solid line, which again I think gives you a much better idea of the suitability for the role and the duty. We also have extra information being shown, which gives you their morale, their average rating, their fitness and their condition, I think. Now all that information is here on the left hand side. I suppose if you're playing on a smaller monitor, you might not have all of the columns available, and it might give you a good overview, but for myself I probably won't make use of this. Likewise, when you can choose the role and duty here, I'll probably choose it from the left. So I'm not over enthused with what they've done on this side, but the little addition of the tabs is quite a nice little touch. It looks clean, it looks sharp, but I'm sure there'll be a lot of skins that will come out that will probably change it anyway. So if we move to the actual sort of tactics side of it, nothing's really changed here in terms of setting your formation, saving and loading, adding a new tactic. The mentalities are all the same. The description may have changed there. Likewise with the team shape, everything's pretty much the same. Now the main difference for me for this tactics screen is the team instructions. Now in Football Manager 2015, it was a series of buttons that were grouped together in sort of similar areas in terms of tactics. Now what Sports Interactive have done here is they've tried to give it more of a kind of graphical feel. Now it'll take a bit of getting used to, but I suppose once you set up your tactics, that's it. You know, you don't really have to go to it unless you're going to tweak it. Now what they do here is we set the mentality first of all, and what that will do is set some defaults. Now in terms of team shape, yep, that's the same as before. Tempo's just a natural slider. When you click take a breather, it automatically sets some other tactics that go along with telling your team to take it a bit easier, and you can just toggle that on or off. In terms of time wasting, you cannot change it now, so time wasting will be based on your mentality. So if you're attacking, you won't time waste. If you're defensive, then you will time waste. Makes sense to me. The width, you just move it across the pitch to give it an idea of how wide you want to play. Defence, likewise, you choose your defensive line where you want them to be positioned, and I think it's quite nice having the sort of graphical representation of it. Use offside traps, just a toggle that's in there. Closing down, another slider, and you can see then that it's kind of highlighting that you cannot choose take a breather with that because you've moved it to something that contradicts it, really, and conflicts with it. So yep, all the sort of items here are just additional sort of toggles. Tackling, you choose one or the other. Now the build up, I quite like this feature. Okay, so it's subtle. So if you look at the arrows that are positioned here, play out of defence, short arrows, and they're flat. That means short passing on the ground, and then you can actually see from here, where do you want to distribute the ball to? Do you want to exploit the middle or the right or left flank? Now if you choose the middle, you can't choose the flanks. You can choose one or the other or you can choose both flanks. But I quite like that. If we then say pump the ball into the box, you can't do short. You can still exploit the middle, or you can still exploit the flanks. You can't clear the ball to the flanks because obviously what you're doing is you're clearing it out into the box. But you can see from the shape of the arrows that it's indicating the type of pass. So this is a lofted ball, likewise so are these, and when you play here you're just playing them on the deck. So I quite like this, okay? I quite like the way it looks. And then of course you've got pass into space, yes or no. Passing directness is just a slider, and you can choose whether to retain possession. And then we get a bunch of kind of toggled settings. So we've got expressive or disciplined, running at the defence or dribbling less, and the freedom of movement. Now in terms of the attack, it's similar to the build-up in the sense that the arrows give you some kind of indication of how things are going to play out. So we've got shoot on sight, straight line at goal, you know, kind of leaving a little trail behind showing that it's been hit with force. Makes sense. It's a nice little subtle aesthetic feature. Hit early crosses, show it out wide from deep, with a lofted ball, the curved line. Overlap is a dotted line, presumably trying to show that a player is running beyond you and then you're making the pass. So time is passing and then you'll play it through. Work the ball into the box. Flat, short arrows. So you know that's short passes into the box on the deck. And obviously when you choose that, it doesn't allow you to choose the other features. And I think it's a nice way of doing it. I actually really like how they've done this. And then you get the choice of the crosses, how you want them to be done, which obviously has no bearing on what we're doing here, as you'll always play crosses, but the way you build up in the final third will change. So that's a run through of the tactics screen in Football Manager 2016. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like and a comment, and let me know if there's any features that you want to see in Football Manager 2016. And until the next time, I'll see you when I see you.